Hello friends, welcome back to my channel Psychology Point, and in this video I am going to cover type and trait approaches. And in the previous video I had already covered the overview of type and trait approach. So in this video I start with the classification of type approach. So let's start with the ancient classification of type approach, that is that of Hippocrates. Hippocrates was a physician and he has classified personality according to bodily fluids. There are different fluids which flow in our body like blood, then black bile, yellow bile and phlegm. Just to give you, although this is not discussed in your NCERT, but to provide you with the context so that you can learn properly, various fluids that flow in our body. Like example, yellow bile, when you have, jaundice, that element, yellow bile is the fluid which flows in your liver. And phlegm, it is in your lungs and brain, this fluid. So this will give you a little idea that how he has categorized the personality types. And as far as black bile is concerned, there is no evidence in modern science which part of the body it is affecting. So now, based on the fluid, personality types and characteristic in your papers, you can present this in form of a small table, whole what Hippocrates has talked about. You can write fluid, personality type, and the characteristics also are not talked about in your NCERT, but you can mention. So blood, that is sanguine and cheerful. Then phlegm, phlegmatic, calm and relaxed. Black bile, melancholic, sad, thoughtful. Yellow bile, choleric, angry. Now, do one thing, use the comment box and answer which in the personality type do you fit in. Are you very calm, relaxed? Then you are phlegmatic type. This will help you if you participate in these quizzes or the things which I ask you to write in the comment section, will help you to learn more. And while writing your papers, you will be remembering that yes, I had put that comment in the video. Okay, so there is a purpose behind, of course, as you know, every one of us as a teacher has some purpose so that the children, they learn better. Okay, then next classification, let me talk about in relation to India. Charak Samhita is a book which is based on Ayurveda. It talks about the personality type into Vata, Pitta and Kapha. Now the theory behind this goes that our body is made up of 5 elements, all of you are aware of: earth, water, air, space also. And now us are described on the basis of the nature and temperament. The personality is classified into Vata, Pitta and Kapha on the basis of basic nature and temperament. Next let's talk about 3 gunas. It comes in your paper a lot. What are the describing these 3 gunas? You can arrange your answer in form of a small table where you can write guna, qualities and the examples. Sattva, truthful, peaceful and wise, a spiritual person. Rajas, active, greedy, a person who always chases for wealth and power. Tamas, lazy, angry, someone who avoids work and blames others. Okay. Next comes the children's classification, which you all must have done in your PED classes also, physical education classes also, because this classification is based on physical constitution and which were done by Sheldon. He has also pointed out something about the temperament of these people. So if I talk about this and the personality, now again you can present this answer in form of a table: the type, the body build and the temperament. to remember it, relate to your personality. What do you fit in? Like if I go by Sheldon's personality, I think I fit in ectomorphic. I'm thin, fragile, tall, and then the characteristics which he has talked about, you have to tell me whether I possess it or not. That is brainy, artistic, and introvert. Next is mesomorphic. If I talk about, remember the example of Salman Khan as mesomorphic, and you will remember his musculature, the strong musculature which he has, and you will never forget in your examination. Then he is energetic and courageous even at this age. So next is endomorphic, the fat, soft, round people. Remember any of your friend who is relaxed also and sociable also. Okay. Now let me talk about Jung's classification. I am just trying to give the examples so that you all relate to and learn it properly. So next is introversion and extroversion. Introvert personality, if I talk about, you all must be knowing that introverts are quiet people. They value their own time. They do not love parties, and the opposite goes for extroverts. They release their stress while moving in the parties, while moving with others, while going. If an extrovert is experiencing his stress, the best way to release his stress is to go in the company of others. Okay. Next, I talk about Friedman and Rosamenti researched about the psychosocial factors which influence the personality. And on that basis, they have talked about type A personality. Just check in the characteristics of the type A personality and see if you have, please try to bring about a certain change in your lifestyle, as type A people are prone to coronary heart diseases and hypertension, that is high blood pressure. Okay, let's discuss the characteristics. They possess high motivation, always in a hurry, they lack patience, they feel short of time, feel like always they are burdened with work, piles of work they have always. Now, this is something really which disturbs them physically also. Next is type B, which is just the opposite. They have a lot of patience. They never find that they are burdened with work, and so on and so forth. Now, later on, Morris has added type C to this category. Type C people, again, the knowledge of this should help you to find out the people in your surrounding, and if you can counsel them that which personality will be suiting them, or these are the flaws in their personality and they can overcome and avoid various physical and psychological issues. So if I talk about type C personality, they are very cooperative, very unassertive people. They will never speak about their negative emotion. They will suppress them, and they are always they show always compliance to their authorities, and while suppressing these emotions, negative emotions, that makes them prone to cancer. Okay, now let me talk about trait approaches. First, trait psychologist is Allport. Allport has emphasized the uniqueness in the individual, and he has used the adjectives in the English language to describe the various traits that he talks about. The first trait that he is talking about is the cardinal trait, which is the most dominant trait of our personality. For example, Gandhiji's dominant trait was non-violence. If you talk about Hitler, then narcissism. So the thing on which your full life revolves, that type of trait is cardinal. Next comes central. I had already explained in the previous video what do I mean by trait and other related personality terms. So if you are not able to follow that, please go to the previous video. Next is now central trait. These are the general characteristics like which we put in our resume, like honest, hardworking, sincere. Okay. Next is your secondary traits, which Allport has talked about. That is your own preferences, like I love rain, or I love to eat mangoes. All this comes under secondary trait. So now let's talk about Cattell's personality theory. He has divided the traits into source and surface trait using factor analysis method. He has identified 16 personality factors and also developed the questionnaire that is called 16 personality questionnaire. Now the two important traits which he has talked about is the source trait, which is basic, enduring and overall, which describes the overall personality of the person. They are hidden and they are deep causes of our human behavior. So as a psychology student, you should focus more on the source traits, which will help you to know about the hidden personality of individual. Next comes the surface traits, which are visible, which can be seen by anyone and which vary according to our mood and situation. And they are less stable. Now, I also forgot to mention you about the source traits. These are the building blocks of personality on which our personality is made. Let me give you one example to explain source and surface trait. For example of source trait is sociability. For example, an example of surface trait, talking a lot in the gathering. Now you see, the main trait is sociability. And you had picked up on the surface level that he talks a lot in the gathering. Apart from this, if I take another example, for example, the source trait would suppose is impulsive. Some child you find very impulsive in your class who do not, think before speaking. Now you have some debate in your hall. Now the child stood up automatically to speak, although he is not very confident in public speaking. So, this speaking in public could be the result of impulsive behavior too. So, you see how deep we have to go to understand the psychology of the people. Now, let's start with Ising's theory. Ising's theory of personality is based on biological factors and genetical factors which influence our personality and traits. He has developed Ising personality questionnaire in which he has talked about 3 dimensions: extroversion versus introversion, neuroticism versus emotional stability, and psychotism versus social desirability. Now on to Ising, our personality traits are linked to the brain function. This is not mentioned in your NCERT, but to provide you the background so that you can understand. See, what we see in extrovert people, that they will like to be in the company of others. Because why? The reason is because they have low brain arousal. They will get aroused only when they see people around. Next, neuroticism. That is reactivity of automatic nervous system, which is responsible for the same. So, more reactive means more emotionally unstable. Okay. Next is psychotism. That is linked to your hormonal changes in the body, although this is not a part of your NCERT. So, need not focus more on this. Focus on this table which you will have to prepare in your exam. That is, you will be mentioning the dimensions. Then you mention what is high end, because it is a continuum. It's on the scale. So, high end of the scale is telling you this and low end is telling you this. So, neuroticism, that is anxious, moody, tense. And low end would be the other side of the people. Some people would be getting high score on the other side, they would be calm, stable, relaxed. Then extroversion, they are sociable, I have talked about right now. Okay, so you can go through it. Then apart from this, let me compare and contrast these theories. Okay, now let's talk about the difference between type and trait approach. See, type approach classifies people into different types, whereas trait approach describes personality based on the continuum dimension, as I explained you just now when I was explaining you Ising, that high end and low end. It is on the scale. Next is, every individual fits into one fixed personality type when we talk about type approach. Okay, whereas individuals may possess multiple traits in varying degrees, like some of them would be ambivert. Okay, introvert trait also, and extroversion traits are also present in the ambivert personality. Now, it is qualitative, okay? You cannot express it in terms of numbers, but here you have test available, you have 16 personality factor, you have EPQ, that is Ising personality questionnaire. This is quantitative. Now, this is very simplistic. Type approach is very simplistic, and whereas trait approach is very detailed. Then type approach is very rigid, whereas trait approach is flexible. And now the type approach, you cannot predict so much about a person based on type approach, whereas this trait approach has a better predictive value and is used in psychological testing. I hope the things are very clear to you. Otherwise, you are free to write anything in the comment box and will surely give you a response for that. So now I would like to give you a bonus. I am going to give you the notes of trait and type approach. So then I do, expect a subscription from you in return. Thank you, children, for watching. So happy learning till we meet again.